ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्ते भेदविभागिने व्योमवत् व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। नारायणं पद्मभुवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यम् श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तं तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। अपारकरुणा सिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणम् श्रीचन्द्रशेखरगुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहम्। यत्कृपालेशमात्रेण पुमान् पूर्णः प्रजायते तं वन्दे ब्रह्मविद्धुर्यं सद्गुरुं चन्द्रशेखरम्। संसारसागरनिमग्नजनोदिधीर्षुः यो वातरच्छिवनृसिंहगुरुच्छलेन जाड्यान्धकारहरणं करुणासमुद्रम् तं दक्षिणास्य मनिषं हृदि भावयामि। सदात्मध्याननिरतं विषयेभ्यः पराङ्मुखम् नौमि शास्त्रेषु निष्णातं चन्द्रशेखरभारतीम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणम् तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्तगोचरं तमगोचरम्
सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्तगोचरं
गोचरं
तमगोचरम्
तमगोचरम्
गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्।
गोविन्दं
गोविन्दं
परमानन्दं
परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं
सद्गुरुं
प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्।
प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्।
श्लोक नंबर 17। विवेकिनो विरक्तस्य शमादिगुणशालिनः
विवेकिनो
विवेकिनो विरक्तस्य
विरक्तस्य
समाधिगुणशालिनः
समाधिगुणशालिनः
मुमुक्षोरेव हि ब्रह्म जिज्ञासा योग्यता मता
मुमुक्षुरेवो हि ब्रह्म
जिज्ञासा
जिज्ञासा
योग्यता
योग्यता
मता
मता
ब्रह्म जिज्ञासायाः योग्यता का विवेकिनः विरक्तस्य समाधिगुणशालिनः मुमुक्षोः एव ब्रह्म जिज्ञासायाः योग्यता मता ब्रह्म जिज्ञासा ब्रह्मणः जिज्ञासा ब्रह्म जिज्ञासा the jignasa of Brahma, inquiry into Brahma. For that, yogyata is apekshata. Without yogyata, Brahma jignasa cannot be done. Inquiry into Brahma, that is through Shastram. So, therefore, by Brahma jignasa yaha palam, Brahma jnanam, and jnane nishta, tera muktihi. So, Brahma jignasa, for that, yogyata, the status of being qualified is expected. That is, a person must have certain qualifications in the form of Vivekaha, Vairagyam, Shamadhi Shatka Sampaktihi, and Mumukshutvam. So therefore, these four, Vivekinaha, referring to the person who is Viveki. As a qualification, we say Vivekaha. Viveki, Vivekaha, both are different. Vivekaha referring to the qualification as such. The one who has this Viveka is Viveki, Adhikari, Viraktaha, similarly. Vairagyam, the one who has got Vairagya, dispassion, objectivity, which is the consequence of Viveka. That person is Viraktaha, Tasya Viraktasya. Similarly, Shamadhi Gunashalinaha, the one in whom all these gunas reside. Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti, the six disciplines, they are considered to be the Sampat, wealth, spiritual wealth. And that the Sampat disciplines begins with Shama, the first Shama Adi. And finally, Mumukshu. Mumukshu referring to the person. Mumukshu, the one who is desirous of moksha. Mumukshutvam, the status of being a mumukshu. So all these four are required for Brahma Jignasa. Brahma Jignasa, inquiry into Brahma. Then only the palam, the result, that is Apradibandha Brahma Jnanam, is possible. That is why these four are emphasized, and these are going to be talked about in detail. We have seen this shloka. We were reading Yakyanam. Vivekadi Swarupam Spashta Ishyate Mula Eva Uparishtat. Viveka, etc. All this are going to be separately the shloka itself. Uparishtat Shloke Eva Spashta Ishyate Acharya. Acharya will do. Will explain each and every qualification. Jnatam Micha Jignasa, the desire to know, it is Jignasa. Jnatum Icha. It's a deteriorative word, Jignasa. Jnatum Icha, the desire to know. Desire to know what? Here the desire to know the subject of inquiry is Brahma. Therefore, Brahmanaha Jignasa. Brahmano Jignasa, Brahmanaha Jignasa. Jignasa for which the subject matter is Brahma. And Brahma is Upanishadam Brahma, revealed by Shastram. Brahma cannot be known through any other means of knowledge. You cannot apply Pratyaksha. You cannot apply Anumana or any other Pramana, the known Pramana, Pancha Pramana, Pratyakshadi, Pancha Pramana. It is only Shastrehi Pratipaditam, Upanishadam Brahma. Therefore, Jignasa, Brahmana Jignasa, when we say Shastram is implied. And Shastram is there, Guru is also is there. The inquiry into Brahma. Swatantrena Brahman Vesham na Kurya. Inquiry into Brahma should not be done independently. That is by Guru. So with the help of the Guru, inquiry into Brahma, that is Brahma Jignasa. And for that Jignasa, when we say the desire, the intense desire, that is Mumukshutvam. The intense desire to become free. Now the desire becomes intense desire to know. Because moksha is only through knowing, not by any other means. Therefore, the desire now becomes the desire to know, the desire to study, the desire, because through study, through Shastra, Adhyayanam, alone knowledge is possible. Therefore, the intense desire to study. Shastra Adhyayanam, Shastra Patanam. That is Brahma Jignasa. Vedanta Shastra Patanam, Adhyayanam. Not Veda Purva. Because Brahma, which is the topic of Vedanta. Karma is the topic, Dharma is the topic of Veda Purva. If it is Dharma Jignasa, then Veda Purva. Athato Dharma Jignasa, that is the first sutram, Jaimini, Purva Mimamsa Sutram. Brahma Sutram, first sutram is Athato Brahma Jignasa. It is implied that Dharma Jignasa already done. Dharma Jignasa done, the knowledge of what is Dharma, Adharma, and the following of Dharma already implied. All these are done. Then now the person is endowed with Viveka, Vairagya, etc. And therefore is a right candidate for Brahma Jignasa. So therefore Brahma Jignasa, and the Jignasa, the word, Acharya explains nicely. Tatra avagati paryantam jnanam. Jnanam, the knowledge, culminates in knowing, understanding, avagati, Brahma. Sanvachyayaha, sun is the pratyaya. Sanvachyayaha, ichayaha, karma. The object of desire is Brahma. So therefore, Jignasa, Brahmanaha Jignasa, the object of inquiry, the object of desire is Brahma. Icha is desire. Ichayaha karma, karma is the object. The object of desire is what is referred to by the pratyaya sun. So, and that is Brahma. Therefore, Brahma avagati paryantam till that is jnanam, till that jnanam of Brahma is clearly ascertained. Brahma jignasa kartavya. Inquiry into Brahma should be done. Brahma jignasa is desire to know Brahma. Brahma jignasa. Jnatum icha. But desire to know Brahma is only through study. Therefore, we translate the word Brahma Jignasa into inquiry into Brahma. Inquiry into Brahma is not possible without having desire to know Brahma. And the Brahma is Shastraihi Pratipaditam. Therefore, Shastraihi Pratipaditam Brahmanaha Jignasa, Brahma Jignasa. Therefore, inquiry into the Shastram. That is the meaning. So inquiry into the Shastra, anyone can do. Anyone can do, there are certain adhikaritvam required. And even if anyone does, phalam will not be there. In the absence of being an adhikari, the result will not be there. That is why Viveka, Vairagya, etc. And Acharya in the next line he says, Akandakara vritti pratipalitam chaitanyam jignasa pada lakshyamana vicharasya palam. Palam the result. Jignasa pada lakshyamana vicharasya palam. Vichara is inquiry. So by jignasa, the word, what is lakshyamana, what is indicated as a jignasa, the inquiry. The result of the inquiry is this akandakara vritti pratipalitam chaitanyam. This chaitanyam, that is Brahma chaitanyam. Akandakara is therefore the chaitanyam consciousness, atma, which is akandakara vritti palitam. That is, the result is in the form of akandakara vritti. Vritti is thought. The thought is, object of thought is Brahma, which is you. And therefore it is akandakara. Akandakara is, there is no subject-object division. Brahmakara vritti. That is the result of the inquiry into Brahma. Vritti meaning thought. Vritti pratyaya. Every thought has its object. You have a thought, a vritti of a pot, therefore pot thought. Similarly, a cloth thought. Gata vritti, pata vritti, mata vritti. So therefore, the vritti, the thought changes. The thought comes to recognition. The thought is jada. Thought is achetana. It is a jada, inert. A thought occurs. The thought occurs in your mind. A gata thought, a gata vritti. Because it is a jada, it cannot be evident. Because jada, it cannot be evident. But it is, the thought occurs, you know it. How do you know? I know the thought, you say. I know the thought, pot thought. The pot is the object of your thought. Pot is the object of your thought. And the pot comes to light in the presence of the Chaitanyam consciousness, which is you. And the Chaitanyam, which is reflected in the Antakaranam, the mind, Antakaranam meaning mind. Chaitanyam, which is reflected in the Antakaranam is, the mind is Sukshma, therefore Chaitanyam can reflect, the mind can reflect the Chaitanyam, and that reflected consciousness, Chaitanyam, is called Chidabhasa. So in the mind, in the Antakaranam, the thought is, and at the same time there is reflected consciousness. The thought is illumined by the Chidabhasa. And Chidabhasa is due to Chaitanyam. The Chaitanyam is, the thought occurs in the mind, and in the mind only there is reflection of Chaitanyam, and there is Chaitanyam. So every knowledge happens by this process. That is, the thought goes outside and pervades the object. The thought goes outside, that is the first step, and it pervades the object, and that is reflected in Chidabhasa, that is second step. Then the knowledge of the object. The knowledge of the object is gained. Suppose there is a pot outside. You see the pot through the eyes. You open the eyes. The thought, the vritti goes out through the eyes, backed up by Antakaranam, the mind, and pervades the pot. That is called Gatakara vritti. There is a corresponding vritti, Gatakara vritti, and that is reflected in the mind and Antakaranam, which is illumined by Chaitanyam Chidabhasa. Then you know there is a pot. Vedantically, we explain this by this way. Vritti Vyapti and Phala Vyapti. The Vritti Vyapti, Vritti goes outside and envelops the object, and the enveloped object is reflected in the Antakaranam, the Chidabhasa, and the object is known. This is how the knowledge of any object takes place. Now, in the case of Atma, Brahma, where is the object? The object is you. In fact, there is only subject. I want to know a pot means there is pot inquiry. I want to know a cloth, there is cloth inquiry. I want to know Brahma. That Brahma is you. That is why it is called self-inquiry. The object of the knowledge is you. It is not an object like a pot or cloth. Therefore, there is no subject-object division. There is no subject-object in the case of this jnanam, this knowledge. The object is you, the subject, the inquiry, then it is you. In the case of pot knowledge, I am the inquirer and pot is the object. In the case of Brahma Vichara, the Vichara or the object of Vichara is Brahma and that is me. Therefore, there is no subject object. This subject object divisionless. Therefore, the vritti, what it will envelop, what it will cover to reveal that it is you. That object, subject object divisionless is called Akanda. That's it. Kanda is division. Akanda is divisionless. Akara, the form, the vritti. So Brahmakara vritti. Aham tat Brahma asmi. I am that Brahma. I am that one which illumines everything. I am the illuminator, the self-evident me. That knowledge, that is the result. Knowing that Aham Brahma Chaitanyam Jagat Karanam, cause of this entire Jagat, from me only everything has come to existence, in me only everything sustained, and to me only everything finally dissolved. Tad Brahma Aham Asmi. That is the knowledge which gives moksha, liberating knowledge. And that Brahma Chaitanyam, that Chaitanyam, the consciousness, or you can say Atma, or Brahma, all are same. That is me. So that vritti, the thought, which doesn't have an objectless thought. That vritti is called akandakara vritti. What that is mean? It means it is about me, the knowledge of me, the Brahma Chaitanyam. That is the result. So, and I am is revealed through every thought. Thought comes and goes, but I am there as the light of Chaitanyam consciousness in every thought. Every thought is illumined by me. But the problem is we are so identified with the thought and we miss ourselves. There is a pot means there is pot consciousness. Consciousness is there and there is a pot. There is cloth consciousness, there is consciousness, there is cloth. Minus consciousness, how will you recognize a pot or a cloth? Not possible. We recognize a pot means it means you are there. Who are you? That is the inquiry. That is you are Brahma. That is the Brahma Jignasa. So therefore, the knowledge, the object of inquiry is Brahma, that is you. Therefore, there is no subject-object division. Subject-object division in the knowledge at the end, the result of that knowledge, and that is the vritti. The knowledge of Brahma is also in the form of the vritti only, vritti jnanam only. And the vritti doesn't have an object. That is called akandakara vritti. Brahmakara vritti. Divisionless thought. In fact, it is always divisionless. It is not something to be gained. Whether I know it or I am aware or not, but it is always divisionless. I am divisionless. I am always, all the time I am there. Jagrata avastha, I am there. In waking state. Sapna avastha also, I am there. In deep sleep state also, I am there. So I am there in all these states. The states undergo changes. The state undergo changes, but I don't undergo any change. In the Antakaranam, that different thoughts come, but I don't undergo any change. Every thoughts become evident due to me, but me doesn't undergo change. Recognizing that me, that is called Brahma Akanda Karavritti, and that is the result of this inquiry. Samsara is identifying with the thought and getting caught. Moksha is knowing that because of which the thought comes to light. That is moksha, in simple words. So therefore Acharya here he says, Akandakara vritti palitam chaitanyam. And that is a vicharasya palam, the result of inquiry. So Ramana Maharishi says, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? We give our own biodata. I am so and so. Those are all the information of this body, either the body, height, weight, etc., or blood group, whatever it is, or about the mind. The qualifications are all that you to gain through your mind. It's associated with the mind. Therefore, it's all or the properties. They are not you. Like I'm not the house. I live in the house. House is not me. I use the car, but car is not me. Similarly, the body mind sense complex, they are the property. I handle the property. Here, the knowledge is about the person who handles. Who is that person? That is the inquiry. So, I can know a car, but how do I know that I who use the car? Therefore, Brahma Jignasa. Samanyatah Brahma Vijnanasya Vicharat Purvamapi Sattvat Etadrisham Ishtam Sampadaniyam Chet. Samanyatah in general, Vicharat Purvam, before inquiry into Brahma, Brahma Jnanasya Sattvat, Brahma Jnanam is there, but it is not clear, it is not there as it should be. So I am there. It is not something you gain, the knowledge of I am. I am is always there, but the problem is I am associated with, intensely associated with, that is called Granthi, the Grantha, the knot, intensely associated with my body mind sense complex. Or through the through the body mind sense complex, through that I'm associated with those who are related to me. Mama, either it is Mama or Aham so and so, or Mama, these people are me, my son, my daughter, my house, my things. Either it is I am or it is my. But we never inquire into who is this I am. We have been saying using this all these years from birth onwards. But who is this I? Therefore, Vicharat Purvam Brahma Jnanasya Sattvat, but Etadrisham Sampadaniyam. Now Brahma Jnanam Sampadaniyam. Because it is not known clearly, therefore Sampadaniyam. It is not known clearly, distinctly. Therefore, it should be accomplished, to be earned, to be known. Jadhyana Vasaram Kinchit Kamadina Managapi. Asuptehe Amritehe Kalam Nagit Vedanta Chintaya. It's a very famous quote, the second line. Asuptehe Amaranat Kalam Nagit Vedanta Chintaya. Asuptehe till you go to sleep, or till you go to sleep, Asuptehe, or Maranam. Kalam Nagit, may one spend the time in inquiring into Brahma. Kalam Nagit Vedanta Chintaya. Therefore, there is no pause, there is no gap, there is no interval into inquiry. This Brahma, it should be Sampadanyam, should be earned. Na avasaram dadyat. Don't give any avasaram, any chance, any gap in the form of kama, etc. Running after the objects of desire. Even a little, managapi. Otherwise, it will take you for a ride. You will miss the bus. Therefore, all the time, 24/7, Asuptehe, daily go to sleep, till you go to sleep. Asuptehe, until we die. Kalam nayet, let the time be spent in thinking about Vedanta, that is Brahma Vichara, doing Brahma Vichara, inquiry. Iti Uktaritya Sarvadika Vedanta Vicharaha Avashyakaha. Vedanta Vicharaha is Avashyakaha, it is necessary always. Sarvadika is a Tadita, Sarvada Vedanta Vicharaha Kartavyaha. There is no holiday in spiritual life to be done all the time. You cannot be away from yourself. Today I will take a break Sunday. No Brahma Vichara. No, it is not like that. There is no holiday. You cannot take holiday from yourself. You can take holiday from others or from your work or from your relatives, but you cannot take holiday from yourself. Therefore, time should be spent usefully. In fact, the only purpose is that only purpose of life is knowing yourself and be free. Therefore, Vedanta Vichara is to be done all the time, in spite of being busy in our regular schedule activities. One should continue to do Vedanta Vichara. Dehatma Jnanavat Jnanam, Dehatma Jnana Bhadakam, Atmanyeva Bhavedyasya, Sanechannapi Muchyate. Deha Atmavata Jnanam. Like how we have this Deha Abhimana. I have got this body, mind, sense complexes, this identity with this so intense. So too the Jnanam, Brahma Jnanam should become. So therefore, Dehatma Jnanavat, Deha is the Atma iti Jnanam. I am the body iti, that Jnanam is the who taught, nobody taught. I am the body, mind, sense, complexes, knowledge without being taught. We have this knowledge and we have got intense abhimana with this Sharira Mana Sangrata, body, mind, sense, complex. So too the Jnanam should become Brahma Jnanam. And that Jnanam will be the Badaka, will be the negator of the knowledge of, the wrong knowledge of identity with the Sharira Mana Sangata, body, mind, sense complex. What knowledge will remove the knowledge of I am this body, mind, sense complex? Brahma Jnanam only remove. So therefore, Brahma Jnanam is Dehatma Jnana Bhadakam. Bhadaka is negator. It is wrong knowledge. So therefore, right knowledge should remove the wrong knowledge. Right knowledge is Aham Brahma Asmi. There it stops. Aham Manushyaha, Aham Purushaha, Aham Grihastaha, Aham Sannyasi. That is also is Ajnanam only. Because Atma is neither a sannyasi nor a grihastha nor a brahmachari. Atma is Atma. Atma is doesn't undergo any changes. It is Atma. All the way it is Atma. All the janmas it is only Atma only. Aham Atma eva. That Atma Jnanam only will remove Anatma Jnanam. Dehatma Jnanam is Anatma Jnanam. Identifying with this body mind sense complex, which are the body mind sense complex is Jada, Anatma. That is Anatma Jnanam. Anatma Jnanam, how it will go? Only by Atma Jnanam. Therefore, Atma Jnanam is the Badaka of Anatma Jnanam, the Dehatma Jnanam. As much that the intense Abhimana we have for this Deha, so too the should be there for Brahma. It means when the knowledge of that Aham Brahma is so clear and intense, then the knowledge, the wrong knowledge that I am the body and so on, so that will go away. It is negated. Therefore, Atmani eva bhavet. Be with yourself always. Saha na nechan napi muchyate. If the person doesn't have intense desire for knowing Brahma, that is oneself, without that, moksha is, it doesn't have, it means moksha is not possible. is always be running after anatma, always running outside, extrovert. Paranchikani vitanat swayam mohu, parang pashyati nantaratma. Unfortunately, the sense organs are also were created by the Lord to be extrovert. It always sees outside, not inside. It is the way the Upanishad says. It doesn't criticize sense organs. Sense organs are meant for gaining the knowledge of the external objects. They cannot be used for gaining the knowledge of oneself. You cannot use your eyes to see yourself because you are not a Vishaya of the eyes, the object of the eyes. You cannot use your ears to see to hear yourself because you are not subject to sound also. The property, sound property, you don't have. In fact, the sound property is because of you. So you cannot hear your own sound. You may hear some sound in the stomach. That is not your sound. That is stomach sound. It is the sound makes stomach that you hear. Similarly, other sense organs. With the sense organs, you cannot know yourself. You cannot apply sense organs or the inferences to know yourself. They are applied to know the objects of the world, external world. To know yourself, therefore, Shastram is alone is the Pramanam. Therefore, Brahma Jigyasa Kartavya. So, iti Ukta Jnanam Janayitum Sahayeva Samartaha Kaha, the one who has got the intense desire to know, the Jigyasu, Brahma Jigyasu, Janayitum Sahayeva Samartaha, he alone is capable. Therefore, Brahma Jigyasa Yogyata, the one who has got all these qualifications, Viveka, Vairagya, etc., that person alone is Samartaha, is capable of knowing this Brahma. Then only the Brahma Jnanam is possible. Iti the Shloka. Beautiful commentary. Next Shloka, Shloka number 18. Before that, Acharya gives, yes, Sangati, Samanda. एतादृश विचार जननी या इच्छा तत्र योग्यता विवेकादि साधन युतस्य एव न अन्यस्य एव अन्यस्य इति एवकार बोधितम् अर्थम् अन्वयेन व्यतिरेकेन च स्पष्टयति साधनानि इति. In the previous shloka there is evakara. Evakara means there is a word eva. That eva is important. If you spot the eva, mumukshoho eva, that eva is important. Eva is alone. But eva, the word, two-lettered word, but it's got significance. Only when the person is qualified, only when the person has these qualifications, viveka, vairagya, shamadhishatka, santati, mumukshutvam, then only that is the meaning. Only that evakara meaning is only. Only when these are present, then only Brahma Jigyasa and the result of Brahma Jigyasa, Brahma Jnanam is possible. Otherwise, no. So, Etadrisha Vichara Janani Ya Icha. The Icha, the desire. Ya Icha, Etadrisha Vichara Janani. Janani is producer. Janani is not Mata. That which produces is mother, but here it is not mother. Vichara Janani, that which produces, that which Vichara Janani, inquiry into Brahma, that Vichara, inquiry, the inquiry is there due to what? Icha. The desire should be there, then only you inquire into Brahma. Therefore, Vichara Janani Ya Icha, that desire which produces, which creates the that desire which produces that Vichara Janani Ya Icha. Etadrisha Vichara is Vichara Janani, Vichara is inquiry, Janani, that which creates, which produces. The Ya Icha, that is Brahma Jigyasa. Icha is Vichara Janani Ya Icha, referring to Brahma Jigyasa. The desire to inquire into Brahma. So inquiry into Brahma is not possible without Icha. You must have Icha, the desire. So the desire is there, therefore there is Vichara into Brahma. So Ya Icha Asti. Kidrisha Icha, Vichara Janani Icha, which produces the Vichara, which makes a person inquire into Brahma. For that there is Yogita is Apekshata, Tatra Yogita. And Vivekadi Sadhana Yutasya, the one who is endowed with Viveka, etc. All these sadhanams, these are the means. Yutasya endowed with for that person alone eva. Yogita is alone only for that person who is endowed with Viveka, Vairagya, etc. These qualifications. Na anyasya, not for the other person. To indicate that only the Evakara is there in the shloka. Evakara. Artham. Anvaya Vitirekena Spashtayati. The Evakara is there to emphasize this. The Yogita. The one who has got Yogita, that person, for that person alone, Brahma Jignasa is possible and therefore Brahma Jnana Phalam also. In the absence of which, there cannot be Brahma Jnanam because there is no Brahma Jignasa. Brahma Jignasa requires Yogita. It is not there, therefore the result also, that is Jnanam also not possible. Iti Anvaya Vitirekena. Anvaya Vitireka is a technical term. Invariable concomitance. I will explain this later. We have seen in many places Anvaya Vitireka. In here itself, in Vivekachudamani itself, the Acharya, Shankaracharya will explain to some shloka. Anvaya Vitireka, that not the method. Anvaya Vitireka is a prakriya, is a method. But he adopts this method. There we will see in detail. But I can just give some example. Anvaya Vitireka. Anvaya Vitireka is a method, the prakriya. Using that Anvaya Vitireka, Acharya Spashtayati, Acharya makes it clear. Sadhanani iti, that is the next shloka. What is this Anvaya Vitireka? Anvaya Vitireka, in the shloka, the second line, Acharya uses that. Acharya uses the Anvaya Vitireka. I give one simple example for Anvaya as well as Vitireka. Or we can take this example itself, that is also. Yes, that is the second line of the shloka. That is in the second line, it is said. Yeshu Satsu, we will read the shloka first and then I will explain that. Sadhanan yatra chatvari katithani manishibhihi.
साधनान्यत्र
यानि
चत्वारि
चत्वारि
कथितानि
कथितानि मनीषिभिः
मनीषिभिः
येषु सत्स्वेव सन्निष्ठा यदभावेन सिद्ध्यति.
येषु
येषु
सत्त्वेव
सत्त्वेव
सन्निष्ठा
सन्निष्ठा
यदभावेन
यदभावेन
सन्निष्ठेन
सिद्ध्यति
सिद्ध्यति
Yeshu Satsu. Okay. I will explain the second line detail, but Anvaya Vitireka, try to explain. What is Anvaya? In fact, in Vyakaranam, I give example. Anvaya Udaharanam, Yatireka Udaharanam. The Udaharanam in keeping with the rule, the sutra, Anvaya Udaharanam. Yatireka Udaharanam is counter example, counter. So here, in the presence of those qualifications, alone, Jnanam is gained. Brahma Jnanam can be gained only when the qualifications are present in a person. Then only the person can gain Brahma Jnana. In the absence of that, Brahma Jnanam is not possible. So therefore, these qualifications are indispensable. So therefore, in the presence of this Jnanam, in the presence of this qualification, Jnanam is gained. This is Anvaya, putting it positively. Negatively putting it, in the absence of this qualification, Jnanam is not possible. That is negative. So, positive and negative. That is called Anvaya Vyatireka. But Anvaya Vyatireka, it's got other implications also. To arrive at the cause of a thing also, Anvaya Vyatireka Prakriya is used. In Vedanta, we use that. Here also we can apply. That is, these qualifications, that is Yogyata. We can say this, we can put together all these, the four qualifications, say it as Yogyata, Yogyatvam. Yogyatvam is the status of being qualified. So then only the person is Adhikari, Adhik can say. Unless for this jnanam to happen as in a person, the person has to be an Adhikari. Adhikari means you can understand the person must have all these qualifications. This is Anvaya. When the person is not an Adhikari, this jnanam cannot happen. Vitireka. Clay is there, therefore pot is there. Clay is there, therefore pot is there. Clay is not there. We cannot say pot is there. Pot is also is not there. Don't say pot is there. Clay also, lump of clay is there, pot is there. That is not the Vivaksha. Clay is there, pot is there. Clay is not there, pot is not there. Clay is the cause of pot. Therefore, clay is there, pot is there. You see a pot. You see a pot means, of course, the clay is there, therefore the pot is. If clay is not there, then pot cannot be. Therefore, what is the relationship between clay and pot? Clay is the cause of pot. This is Anvaya. The Anvaya, this method is used to arrive at the cause of a thing. Clay is there, Mrita asti, Gataha asti, Mrita nasti, Gataha nasti. Therefore, Mrideva Gatasya Karanam. Clay alone is the Karanam, cause of the pot. That is Anvaya. Mrit is there, clay is there, cloth is there. Pata is there, cloth. Clay is not there. You cannot say cloth is not there. Cloth can be there. Cloth is there. Cloth is, the pata is cloth. A dress, a cloth, a piece of cloth. Clay is Mrita asti, Pataha asti. Mrita nasti. You cannot say Pataha nasti. Pata is another thing can be there. Therefore, Mrit is not the cause for the cloth. This is Vyatireka. So to arrive at the cause of a thing also, we use Vyatireka. In fact, we have used this Anvaya Vyatireka method for that. So here Anvaya Vyatireka is used in the absence of the qualification, Brahma Jnanam is not gained. That is Vyatireka. In the presence of this qualification, Brahma Jnanam is gained by a person. That is Anvaya. So therefore, the second line Acharya uses, Shankaracharya uses, and therefore Vyakyana Acharya says, Anvaya Vyatireka spashtayati iti. Now we will see the meaning of this shloka. Sadhanani chatvari katitani manishivihi. Sadhanani, sadhanam, sadhane, sadhanani katitani. Katitani nishta pratyaya. Sadhanani katitani manishivihi. Manishivihi chatvari sadhanani katitani. Yeshu satsu eva sannishta is brahmanishta bhavati. Sat is Brahma. Brahmani nishta bhavati. Yesu satsu eva brahmani nishta bhavati. Yet abhave, in the absence of which na siddhyati nishtayam nishta na siddhyati. So, therefore, chatvari sadhanani manishibihi katitani. Therefore, the four sadhanas, fourfold qualification sadhanas, the means, or taught or given by the Manishi, by the Manisha. The word Manisha is Manisha Panchakam is the Manisha is Manasaha Ishte iti Manisha. The word is derived from the Mandatu. Manisha. Mandatu. And Manasaha Ishte. Manas plus Isha. If you remember in Shakandvadu Vachyam, in that Pararupa Sandhi, we have seen this example. Like Patanjali, Patat plus Anjali becomes the T-Lopa happens, Pararupa Adesha. T-Lopa, not T-Lopa. T of the Purva and the following both are replaced by the Pararupa, Patat plus Anjali, Patanjali, Manas plus Isha, Manisha. We have seen in this Pararupa Sandhi, the Vartikam to Shakandvadi, Pachyam. Shakandu Gana is that this word is the Manisha. In the Ganapata, you will see. So here it is Manishin Shabda, Nakaranta Shabda, like Karin Shabda. Manishin means Jnani, Manishi, Manishino can decline. And Tritiya Bhakti is Manishibihi, like Karibihi. So Manishi means Jnani Ityartha, Buddhiman. Another word, Buddhiman. The one who has got Buddhi, Prajna, is called the Manisha, Manishin, Manishi. In the Amarakosha, in fact, it is given Buddhihi, Buddhir Manisha Dashanadihi, Prajna Shemushi Matihi, Reksha Upalabdhi Chit Samvit, Pratipat Nyapti Chetana, Sanya Atman Pradhana Prajnana. All these are synonyms. So Manisha is Buddhi, the Prajna, Jnanam. The one who has got Manishi, the one who is endowed with Prajna, the one who is endowed with the capacity to think, Chintana Shakti. So Manishi Bhi by Manisha Asya Asti iti Manishin. Ata initan by that sutra, ini pratyaya is added to Manisha and get Manishin. Meaning is the learned person, the knowledgeable person, the one who has got buddhi, means a learned person. By them katitani, it is uttani. What is uttani? Sadhanani, chatvari sadhanani uttani. 4 sadhanas are talked about. 4 sadhanas. In fact, sadhana is that is also from the sadhu dhatu. Sadhu dhatu, then it is sadhayati, 5th conjugation. Sadhanam, lyut pratyaya. Sadhu plus lyut sadhanam. Sadhayitum, yatu upakaroti. Tat sadhanam. Upayaha ityartaha, in simple. Upayaha means sadhanam, sadhane, sadhanani. And there are 4. Sadhanani, napumsakalinga, therefore chatvari. Chatur is the shabda. Pullinga chatvaraha. Strilinga chaturaha. Napumsakalinga, it is chatvari. So chatvari sadhanani katitani manishibhi. 4 qualifications are told by the learned people who have wisdom. Yeshu satsu. Yeshu referring to sadhaneshu. The means. Yeshu satsu. Satsu means satisaptami. This is Yeshu satsu. In the presence of which sannishta bhavati. Sannishta is tat. Referring to Brahma. Brahma nishta. Jnana nishta. Jnane nishta. Jnana nishta. Brahma nishta. Sat is Brahma. Nishta is nitaram sitihi. Abiding in that knowledge. Brahma jnanam. Brahma jnanam is abiding in that jnanam is not a physical action. It is assimilating the knowledge. Assimilating that knowledge that Aham Brahma, and it makes you a free person. You become free from all sorts of this samsaric thinking. our normal or our regular, not normal, in fact, it is abnormal. Our regular way of thinking is that I am samsari, I'm confined to so and so, this upadhi, this sarira manasangata, I am bound. That is the normal, that is the not the normal, that is the regular thinking. That's the thing, that is in fact that is abnormal from the standpoint of the jnani. Therefore, yeshu sadhaneshu, in the presence of these sadhanas, this means, without the means, the end cannot be reached. The means are the viveka, vairagya, etc. These are the means qualifications. That is nishta in sat, in Brahma. Brahma nishta is possible. Siddhyati. Yed abhave, yet referring to sadhana again. Sadhana abhave, na siddhyati. What? Mokshaha, that is nishta na siddhyati. This is called anvayavati rekha. Only in the presence of which moksha is gained. Only in the presence of sadhana. Vivekadi, sadhana, sadhaneshu satsu eva mokshaha siddhyati. Therefore, sadhana chatushtaya sampatti is indispensable. You cannot overrule that. The Devi Sampat. Whether sannyasa is there or not, that doesn't matter. Sannyasa ashrama is not mandatory. But sadhana chatushtaya sampatti is mandatory for Brahmajnanam, for knowledge, to become free. A sannyasi, a person may be a sannyasi, but if he is without sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, sannyasa ashrama itself will not be fruitful. A person may be a grihastha, may not, it's not a sannyasi, but if he has got sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, then moksha is possible for that person. Therefore, sannyasa is not mandatory. What is mandatory? Sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. If a person is a sannyasi and also has sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, then Brahmajnanam is not for. Because being in the sannyasa ashrama, the person has got all the time for himself. So therefore, he has got tivra jignasa, Brahma jignasa. So therefore, moksha is not far away. So therefore, the whole life is about cultivating this sampatti, earning this wealth, sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. The sadhaka must be a viveki, must be a vairagi, must be endowed with the shama, dhamma, etc. and mumukshutvam. So for that person only has got the yogyata, Brahma Jignasa, yogyata mata. These are previous shloka. So this is the meaning of this shloka. And the Vyakyanam, it's a long Vyakyanam. Acharya uses some technical language also, Nyaya language. We will see the simple meaning of that in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Dhanyavadaha.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಶರಣ್ಜಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಶರಣ್ಜಿ.